by bread alone. Yeah, this word got food in it. Stepping on the devil dome, you should see the bruise in it. Backing out the scripts, told a demon to stand down. Go against the Most High, we gon' see how it pan out. The Father gave me hope, fill me with the ghosts. Now they hate it when I glow. Joseph with the coat, looking for their fruit, but they ain't got no cantaloupe. The Messiah or Belial, you can't be a fan of both. Can't serve two masters. Bread of heaven with the living water, yeah, serving up a truth platter. We ain't idolizing no folly, now we setting up a new standard. When Christ touched down, make the whole earth shake like Bruce Banner. Yeah, bringing them troops to ya. End times getting spookier, warfare getting nuclear, mankind getting goofier. They intoxicated with a wine, damn, she done roofied them. I'm checking every word, spirit doctrine like a proofreader. I hate these Nicolatans, hate these raving idols, man, I hate these flipping pagans. Trying to play my father and I hate these imitations. Screaming out Hosanna, we escape that simulation. Better flee to me, vote these or else that lake is where you layin'. Great is he inside of me, casting out this net like I was by the Sea of Galilee. Harvest gon' be plenty, but the laborers are few. Matthew 17 and 20, there ain't nothing we can't do. I can't be no lukewarm, fringes with the blue on. Devil wanna deal, but I told him this ain't Groupon. Praise to the Almighty, you know we gon' sing a new song. Hail the King of King, the ultra low, no Jimmy Neutron. If you keep his laws and his commands, then we can fellowship. I don't get with Pharisees and I don't rock with Hellenists. I ain't praising man, cause only Father get my reverence. I'm swimming in the word, it got me feeling like a yellowfin. Yeah, big stepper, Mr. Demon Chin Checker, trying to hear that well done, cause I feel that displeasure. Father pouring out the wrath, and he got a big measure. If it ain't about the kingdom, then I don't give a six letter. You got faith in the Messiah, you got power. I was clean up in that blood just like a shower. Isaiah 5, you were the vine that came out sour, but now we stand to giving glory in this hour. Yeah, we breaking them curses, fleeing the ways of the serpent. Follow his word and pray for discernment, cause they want us laying in hearses. We gotta rise up, raise and resurface, choose life and stay in your purpose. The price was paid like a merchant, through Christ who came as a servant. See, the kingdom is really the bag, but yet somehow they chasing a Birkin. After this you ain't getting a chance, while you living you can't better search him. Gotta call on his name like his urchin, never knowing that day is emerging. So repent at the weight of perversions, judgment coming, that thing is for certain. Let's go.
Right? So now, again, talking about this divide between black and brown people, right? I've been seeing on the internet, you know what I mean, a lot of black folks are saying, oh, listen, we're sitting this one out, right? Listen, we tired of marching, like when we out there marching, this and third, Latinos sat quietly, did nothing, right? And I get that sentiment, right? But here's the thing. What we got to understand is that our common enemy, the white man, has put a wedge between blacks and browns. They don't want black and brown people to be united. Imagine if all the gangs in LA, right? Your Sureños, your Norteños, right? Your Kiwis, your Crips, your Bloods, your Parus. Imagine if they all got together, right? And they mobilized, right? And instead of causing turmoil, right? Instead of terrorizing their own neighborhoods, killing each other, right? What if they clicked up together, right, and killed the common enemy? What if? The white man fears that day, and that's why they push this divisive stuff, right? This division, right? This is why they propagate a silly nigga like Tariq Nasheed, right? Oh, this FBA shit, right? Listen, I can't stand the FBA nigga. FBAs are the dumbest niggas on the planet, right? They hate a Jamaican brother because he got dropped off at the island of Jamaica, right? Instead of getting dropped off in goddamn Galveston or getting dropped off in goddamn Savannah. Like what are we talking about, right? We're being oppressed by the same people, right? So listen, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Right? We've been made to believe that black and brown people were supposed to be enemies. We're really brothers, right? But the enemy, let's say they are our enemies, right? Guess what? We have a common enemy. Yeah. So let's click up together against our common enemy.
That should take more precedent. Right?
That should take more precedent, right? But no, right? Niggas are just so myopic in their view, right? And it makes sense, right? Because they're blinded, right? So you got what I had you hold on. Get Zechariah 11 and 13, right? And we're gonna go to the origin of this division, right? So get 1 Kings chapter 11, and you're going to start at verse 10. Start at verse 9, right? Bring that out.
You want to start at 13?
Yeah, just bring it out.
Come, it's the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said unto me, cast it unto the potter, a goodly price that I was prized at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord.
Read on.
Then I cut asunder mine other staff.
I cut asunder mine other staff, right? Read on.
Even bands, that I might break the brotherhood.
That I may break the brotherhood between who?
Between Judah and Israel.
Between so-called African, descendants of Africans, right? So-called African Americans, so-called Caribbeans, so-called Haitians, right? And the children of who?
In Israel.
And the children of Israel, our Hispanic, our indigenous brothers and sisters, right? The reason why we've been divided is because the Most High God divided us, all right? And we're going to figure out why the Most High God divided us, right? So 1 Kings 11, start at verse 9.
God, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 11 and verse 9. And the Lord was angry with Solomon because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice.
So Solomon, right, started in his latter years, started worshiping the gods of the other nations. He started marrying women of the Canaanites, right? He started marrying, Ammonites and Moabites, right? And started worshiping their gods instead of worshiping our God, right? And so because he did that gross sin, a sin worthy of death, right? And he was not put to death, right? Because he did that, God showed his anger in a different manner, right? Read on.
I have commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods.
Come on.
But he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, forasmuch as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I commanded thee, I will surely rent the kingdom.
I will surely tear the kingdom, right? Read on.
From thee. And will give it to thy servant.
And will give it to thy servant. So now, when we look at the time, right, of Solomon's life, right, he began to oppress the northern kingdom of Israel, right? Our so-called Latino brothers, right? So again, that animosity was bred from back then, right? Read on.
Notwithstanding, in thy days will I not do it.
In thy days will I not do it. Read on.
For David, thy father's sake.
Because of my special relationship with your father, David, right? Read on.
But I will rend it out from the hand of thy son.
By the hand of thy son. Who was who? Rehoboam. Read on.
Verse 13. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give thee one tribe to thy son. For David, my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen.
So he said, I'm going to give you just Judah, right? And when we look at how everything's transpired, Benjamin and Levi ended up saying, nah, we're going to get down with Judah, right? So now let's go to chapter 12. Right? Because again, listen, man, black and brown folk, we got to realize that we are the same people, right? Listen, a Puerto Rican is just a nigga that speaks Spanish, right? A Mexican is just a nigga that speaks Spanish. We're the same people, right? We are treated like utter shit by our common enemy, the so-called white man. That we are better united than divided, right? Listen, niggas don't realize that, guess what? Them trying to send Latinos and deport them, they're trying to find a way to deport your stupid ass next. They're like, oh, we were born here. That don't fucking matter, nigga. Right? They want to do away with the 14th Amendment. Listen, Trump wants to do away with naturalized citizenship. They just deported a Jamaican brother, right? His parents were in the military. He was born on a base, on a U.S. base, and they deported him. If you're born on a U.S. base, you're a U.S. citizen.
What I heard too is they trying to figure out a way to deport. So like my dad, he's an immigrant. Trinidad. They're trying to figure out a way to deport the children of the immigrants that were born here back to like the citizen residents of their parents.
Yeah, listen, bro. If you're Jamaican, right, and you're second generation, right, third generation, they're trying to find a way to send your ass back, right? Quiet as kept during the Obama administration, right? Jamaicans and Haitians were deported at alarming numbers. How you doing, sister? Señora? Hola. ¿Qué pasa? What's wrong? All right, I'm just trying to teach you that you're a child of God. How you doing, brother? You believe in the Bible? Always. Can we talk about the Bible? What's the Bible say about putting that smoke in your body? I can show you a better way to relieve your stress, brother.
I'm the only one. I hate living in Philadelphia. I'm from Arizona. That's why I smoke.
That's why you smoke, because you hate Philadelphia. You hate living in the place that you decided to live in. And you're from Arizona. That's why you smoke. Listen, you're not the only one that hates Philadelphia. I hate this place too. Good God Almighty, I hate Philadelphia. Right? I believe in the Bible all day, but what does the Bible say about that? Oh, but you know what? Here comes the excuses. Listen, I love talking to niggas, man, because they never cease to amaze me with their bullshit, right? Here's the thing: you can't bullshit a bullshitter, man. All right? I've been bullshitting my whole life, right? I've been getting over my whole life, right? Listen, we are the children of Jacob. We are supplanters, right? Listen, isn't he rightfully called YAHAWAH? Right? So listen, you can't bullshit a bullshitter, bro. Right? But again, right, we as so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we gotta return to righteousness, right? We have to gather together and seek righteousness, right? So let's go back to 1 Kings 12, right?
God, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were coming to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass, when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was in Egypt, yet heard of it, that they sent him and called him. Jeroboam, all the congregation of Israel came.
All the congregation of Israel. So he got all of the northern kingdom, right? All the tribes that Solomon was oppressing, right? He got them together. Read on.
And spake to Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter.
Just lighten the yoke, right?
This brother's Puerto Rican. He never heard. I told him in this book tells him how they came down here.
All praises, right? Read on.
God, and the heavy yoke, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter.
Just make the yoke. Listen, we'll serve you. Just chill out. Just lighten up a little bit, right? Read on.
And we will serve thee. Verse 5. And he said unto them, Depart yet for 3 days. Then come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived.
Come on.
And said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people? And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them and answer
Leviticus chapter 25.
good words to them, they will be thy servants forever.
25 and 39, right? So read that part again.
And they said, and they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day.
If you will serve this people, here's the thing, right? As a ruler, as a king, you're a servant, right? To the people. Yes, the people serve you, but you also got to serve them. It's a mutually exclusive, not mutually exclusive. It's a mutually a what?
Symbiotic relationship.
Symbiotic relationship. That's a better way, right? It's a symbiotic relationship, right? You serve me, I serve you, right? Like that's the job of a ruler, right? Christ says, "The greatest among you shall be a servant," right? So you have to serve your people, right? If you want them to serve you. Right, we have to serve each other, right? The Torah teaches us to prefer one another, right? Read on.
And will serve them and speak good words unto them. Then they will be thy servants forever.
Then they will be your servants forever. Read on.
But he forsook the counsel of the old men.
He forsook the counsel of the elders, right? That was wise counsel. Now here's the thing: great men are not always wise, just in general, but in this case, they gave sound wisdom. Read on.
And he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they have given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him.
So he consulted with his partners, right? The YNs, the knuckleheads that he grew up with, right? Rehoboam himself was a knucklehead, right? When you read Ecclesiastes, Solomon realized, like, damn, man, I gotta give this to a fucking idiot, right? He knew that Rehoboam was an idiot, right? Read on.
God, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, which stood before him. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye that I may answer this people?
Come on.
Who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which thy father put upon us lighter. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thou shalt thou say unto them, My little finger,
read on,
shall be thicker than my father's loins.
So, all right, so pause, right? Listen, Hey, listen. If you thought that he laid the smack down on you, right? Guess what? My pinky finger is gonna be thicker than his paws, right? I'm gonna do y'all even worse, right? So I can just imagine, like, nigga, what these niggas talking about, man? Fuck them, man. Wow. Listen, because they even thought that they can come and step and say, oh, bop, 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 bop. Man, nigga, what? That's exactly what them niggas was on, right? And that mindset still prevails amongst black and brown people, right? Read on.
Verse 11. And now, whereas my father did lade you with heavy yoke. With
heavy yoke, read on.
I will add to your yoke.
I will add to your yoke, read on.
My father have chastised you with whips.
My father did what?
Have chastised you with whips.
So Solomon not only worshiped other gods, right? He sinned in that regard. Let's see what else he broke. Bring that out. Leviticus chapter, 25 and 39. Yep, bring it out.
It's the book of Leviticus chapter 25, verse 39.
Uh-huh.
And if thy brother that dwelleth by thee be waxen poor,
come on,
and be sold unto thee,
come on,
thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant.
You are not allowed to make your brother, the children of Israel, to serve as bondservants, as chattel slaves. Read on.
Verse 40. But as an hired servant.
As an hired servant. A hired servant gets what? They get a wage. You hire them, right? You pay them. Read on.
And as a sojourner, he shall be with thee.
Come on.
He shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee.
He shall serve you to the year of Jubilee, right? Read on.
And then shall he depart from thee.
Come on.
Both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family.
Come on.
And unto the possession of his father shall he return.
Come on.
For they are my servants.
For they are my servants. Read on.
Which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt.
Come on.
They shall not be sold as bondmen.
They shall not be sold as bondmen. You cannot sell Israelites as bondmen. Read on.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor.
You shall not what?
Rule over him with rigor.
So we're told to not rule over our brethren with rigor, right? He said, my father whipped you with what? Bring it out.
My father chastised you with whips.
He chastised you with whips. That's how you rule over an actual bondservant, as a chattel slave. Read on.
But I will chastise you with scorpions.
I will chastise you with scorpions. So imagine going from a whip, right? Just a regular whip, and then a scorpion is a whip with nails on the ends. He said, oh, y'all thought it was bad under my pops? Oh, it's going to be worse under me. Stupid nigga, right? He said, you know what? I'm not, and here's the thing. I looked at Rehoboam's name. His name is Rechabaim, right? It means a people has enlarged. Aim means people. Rechab means to enlarge. Guess what? His territory was the opposite, right? He didn't have control over the entire kingdom, right? His control was only over Judah. So this is where the brotherhood between Israel and Judah, right? That envy, right? Let me get what's that? Isaiah 11, right? The envy of Judah, right? Start at verse 12.
Khan, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 12. He shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel.
Shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, right? The children of Israel have been outcast, right? Have been dispersed, read on.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah.
Right now, a nigga will say, only Judah was dispersed. But this is the outcasts of Israel. It's the same thing. Read on.
And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
All right, from all over the world, we've been dispersed and scattered. Read on.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart.
So when Christ returns, when he comes back to bring the stick of Joseph and the stick of Judah together, right, and make them one kingdom with one king, right, in the land of Israel, right, that's when the envy of Judah, read on.
And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah.
Ephraim shall not envy Judah, read on.
And Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
And Judah shall not vex Ephraim. We just read, right, in 1 Kings 12 of Judah vexing Ephraim. So because we vexed them, right, because when you read 1 Kings 11, Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, he fled to Egypt, right? He fled to Egypt, right? And the Most High God set it up so that when he came back, now I'm going to rent the kingdom from you, right, from your son, and give it to his servant. Who was his servant? Jeroboam. So now we have the divide between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And now, as time goes by, right, Jeroboam realized that, damn, well, the law says that we got to go down to Jerusalem 3 times a year. You know what? I'm going to build calves here for us to worship so they don't go down there, right? And then Levi was like, yeah, nah, we're not rocking with that. And Benjamin said, yeah, nah, we don't, I mean, we're going to stay down here, right? And now we have Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the Jews, Judah, right? The kingdom of Judah, right? And we have the kingdom of Israel, right? Which will, of course, be our indigenous brothers and sisters today, right? And that's how we've been divided. But guess what? We have to, in these last days, come together, gather together, all right? Because we collectively are a nation not desired, right? All of the nations are confederate against us to cut us off from being a nation. Right? So we have to stop the division, right? We have to stop, right, the beef. Right? You got something?
Got it.
Bring it out.
This is just like the situation we're all in collectively. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 63 and verse 5. And I looked and there was none to help.
I looked and there was none to help. No one gives a fuck about black and brown people. No one gives a fuck about blacks and Latinos. No one. Right? Read on.
And I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore, mine own arm brought salvation.
The Most High God's own arm is going to bring salvation, right? Who is whom the arm of the Lord shall be revealed to? The arm of the Lord is Hamashiach Yahawashi, who the world calls Jesus Christ, the Messiah, right? The arm of the Lord, right? And when you actually dive into that word for arm, it's very close to seed, right? So there's a connection, right? Let's look at that real quick. So when we look at this word for arm, right? It's the Hebrew word Zarawai, right? Zarawai, and its etymological root is Zarai, right? Which means seed. So look at Zarawai, right? It means your arm, your forearm, your strength, right? Your seed, your children, your son, that's your strength, right? Let me get Genesis 49, and let's go to Reuben real quick, right? Genesis 49. All right, Genesis 49 and start at verse 3. Bring it out.
Genesis chapter 49.
How you doing, sister?
Reuben, thou art my firstborn.
Thou art my what?
My firstborn.
My firstborn. Read on.
My might.
My what?
My might.
My might, my strength. Read on.
In the beginning of my strength.
In the beginning of my strength. Read on.
The excellency of dignity.
The excellency of dignity. That's it on that, right? Because we're going to get into how Reuben, he fucked up, right? So your firstborn, right? Yahawashi is the only begotten of the Father, right? So he is the arm of the Lord, his strength, right? And the etymological root is the seed. That's why he's called the Son of God. Now, he's not literally the seed of God, right? God didn't just, because then you'll get into crazy Christian theology. Yeah, you know, the Holy Spirit impregnated Mary with the seed of David. What? That's not there, right? But Yahawashi, he's the arm of the Lord. He's his strength. And that's why he's sending his only begotten son, right, whom he is well pleased to come and to deliver our people, right? But that's not going to happen if we don't come together and unite. How you doing, family? How you doing, sister? You believe in God? You good? You believe in God? We don't bite, right? We're not here to hurt you. You believe in God? They don't dare this. Yeah, speak English? Absolutely amazing. Could understand. Yeah, no, yeah. Simeon. I had a feeling it was Simeon. I had a feeling it was Simeon. She looked like a regular sister. Looked like a regular African American sister, right? But again, we the same people, man. We gotta stop with the nonsense, right? You got anything left on that? Calm, all right? But with that, we give all praise, all glory, all honor to the Most High God, whose name is YAHAWAH. Of course, we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Until next time, Shalom and Mawaf Lababal.
All
All praises. All praises.